Ruling for 70 years as monarch, the queen was surely going to have many regrets. But the question is, which one could be considered as possibly the latest queen's biggest regret? For example, you have the issue with the England-Scotland Union. The queen who have surely regretted that she died without solving the problem. Throughout her reign she did all she could, but she still couldn't get everyone on her side. While the majority voted to stay in the Union, it was only a slight majority. Scotland is still heavily divided when it comes to the Union. In 2014, 55% was for the Union while 45% was against. According to predictions in 2022, a poll showed that this percentage would have dropped to 51% for those willing to stay and 51% for those who want independence. This came just after the death of the late Queen, which goes to show she was the reason many were having second thoughts on independence. This will surely be a big regret for the Queen. Another regret of the Queen will be the death of Princess Diana. The royal family certainly played a role in her death. It was the way she was treated that pushed her away, and she was still unhappy till her death. The Queen would surely have wished things turned out differently. Then there's the issue with Harry and Meghan leaving the firm. The Queen will surely have regretted she didn't do more to get them to stay. After all, it happened while was still in complete control. She would surely have felt it was an absolute blunder by her, being unable to control and convince two young ones. In the end, she was unable to reconcile the prince with his dad and brother, even though the Duke's relationship with her wasn't that bad. These are surely things to regret about, but the Queen's biggest regret revealed a number of times by her close acquaintances, even if she never mentioned specifically that it was her biggest regret, was the Aberfan disaster which took place in 1966. At that time, the Queen was still quite young and not as experienced as she otherwise became decades later. So, she did something she would have done differently if the disaster took place many years later. What happened was a national coal board spoil tip, which was near the village known as Aberfan, collapsed on the morning of October 21, 1966, and Aberfan was on the receiving end. A tragic and grave incident which led to tears and blood. After taking the lives of 144 people, 116 of them being children who had just finished their assembly at the Panclas Junior School. The Queen waited for 10 days before visiting Aberfan. While many felt it was a good decision to wait, others criticized her fiercely for not reacting immediately. Surely this would have been the Queen's biggest regret, not just because she took a while to react, but also because she couldn't prevent the disaster from happening. Here we have our video. Make sure to leave your thoughts in the comments. Thanks and see you in the next video.